Hello, this is Flash Talks, the platform where we invite members of the University Innovation Fellows community to share their projects, experiences, and learnings to inspire the new generation of fellows. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Haruka, and I am currently a fourth year student at Sophia University studying international relations, and I'm the 2021 cohort in UIF.
Hello, my name is Mana, and I'm also a fourth year student studying international relations in the same 2021 cohort as Haruka. So thank you for having us today.
So before we start, I want to talk a little bit of the background of UIF Sophia. And students from Sophia University first joined this UIF program in 2020 as the first participating university from Japan. And in 2022, UIF Sophia was founded as an official student group within Sophia University. And currently there are 17 members. So in UIF Sophia, we have been focusing on this ongoing theme of sustainability and empowering students to become leaders and change makers. And as for specific actions, we have done workshops in multiple schools to a wide range of audiences, from middle school students to university students. And today we'll be presenting one of the many workshops that UIF Sophia has organized, the SDGs X Innovation Sparker. So during our 6-week training period in the UIF program, our cohort conducted stakeholder interviews and noticed several needs that the Sophia community faces, such as the need for an innovative space and the need for opportunities to collaborate with people across departments to rethink issues that surround us. For example, sustainable development goals, the SDGs. And from seeing these two needs exist in our campus, we try to ask ourselves, what if we establish a collaborative space bringing together individuals with diverse interests, specialties, backgrounds, and skills, all working collectively to address a common challenge? And what if we applied the concepts of circularity and zero waste to the context of Sophia University? And what if we not only reduce, but more importantly, eliminated the waste that we produce on campus? So realizing these needs or these challenges and asking ourselves these questions, our solution was to create an event where we bring people from all corners of the Sophian community to work towards an issue present in our everyday lives, which is waste. So our team organized the SDGs Innovation Sparker event, a 2-day bilingual event. Day 1 was in English, day 2 was in Japanese. And this event designed to foster innovative thinking, collaboration, and action. The event consisted of 3 parts. The first part was a keynote speaker, then a design thinking workshop, and then lastly, an idea competition. So for the first part, on the English day, we invited Kelsey Stewart, who is the sustainability executive at Loftwork and chief community officer at Fab Cafe. And for the Japanese day, we invited Takako Oyama, the CEO of FOG and co-founder of a circular laboratory called eLab. So these participants were able to from these speakers, participants were able to gain valuable insights from professionals working in the circular economy, which represents a fundamental shift away from today's linear economic model of take, make, waste. And in the second part, following the keynotes presentations, participants engaged in a design thinking workshop focused on identifying and addressing waste problems on campus, framed as the challenge, how might we circulate resources and prevent waste from being generated on Yotsuya campus? So we guided participants through the steps of design thinking that we're all aware of, from identifying the opportunity, defining the problem, ideation, prototyping, and then finally testing. And lastly, we did an idea competition where teams present the prototypes that they have created in front of a panel of judges. And the judges included professors from faculties ranging from Faculty of Science Technology to the Faculty of Economics. And we also invited the staff representative from Sophia's Sustainability Office. So we really tried to make the panel of judges diverse as well. So through these 3 parts, our event centered around the principles of design thinking, which were applied within the context of the SDGs to address the need for a space to spark innovative thinking in Sophia University. So next, I'll pass on to Mana, who will talk about the steps we took into making this happen.
Yes, so our first step, and one of the biggest things that made this event possible, was securing funding and support from our university to implement our idea. We applied for something called the Sophia Student Challenge Support Grant, which is a grant aimed at encouraging students to engage in more actions towards sustainability on our campus. And during the planning process, one of the most important and time-consuming components of our event was building the design thinking workshop itself. Since this was also the main part of our event, I want to share a little bit about the steps that went into building this workshop and also some of the components of it that we sort of created and adapted to our context. So yes, before this event, our team had been carrying out several design thinking workshops for students at Sophia, but also for students at other universities. And these workshops were aimed at empowering students and giving them the tools to put their ideas into action. And when designing the workshop for this particular event, SDGs X Innovation Sparker, we wanted to add a new element to our workshop. Because the theme was zero waste, we brainstormed ways we could incorporate systems thinking or more of a life cycle analysis activity for participants to think in a more holistic and long-term way when designing their solutions. And we wanted to sort of shift away just from like this human-centered perspective of thinking just about human needs, because this was about waste challenges. So thinking about how we can bring in more of the environment or these other aspects. So through several brainstorming and prototyping sessions, we came up with something called the contextual landscape canvas activity that I'll be sharing in the next slide. But since we had limited time in this event and in the workshop itself, and it would have been difficult for participants to go out themselves to conduct their own research and interviews about zero waste challenges on campus, we were trying to think of ways that we could already design an activity where participants could be in the event, but have deeper conversations and better understand the larger context of waste problems on campus in a visual way. So in this next slide, you can see this contextual landscape canvas that we created. And so in the outer ring, we have these opportunity areas that we highlighted. And then in this inner ring, the problem areas. And these are all related to different aspects of waste production on Sophia's campus. So the pink post-its in the outer ring are the opportunity areas, so areas where we could take positive action. And if you look closer, you can see, for example, we talked about like the water servers on campus, or different activities, initiatives that are already taking place on campus that we can build upon. And then we also identified some problem areas. And so we identified 5 categories of waste on campus. Just to begin with. So for example, there's plastic waste, food waste, paper waste, e-waste, and fashion waste. And we wanted to just write these down as a starting point for the participants. And by giving them this landscape canvas during the workshop, this enabled them to have already deeper conversations and reflections about waste challenges on campus, and to also think about all the different factors as well as the actors who might be involved in these areas. And so it allowed them to see the bigger picture, and at the same time, it provided them with a good starting point for them to focus their perspectives and then go ahead and identify points of intervention. So then in the next, so that was, I wanted to share a little bit about that activity. And I think many of us are already familiar with design thinking, the framework and design thinking workshops, but we just added new elements, new activities like that in our workshop. Okay, so here, next slide, please. Yes, so in terms of the event and how it actually, turned out, the event ended up bringing together over 90 students, faculty, and staff from more than 15 departments. There were students and professors from the sciences to the humanities, and it was really inspiring for us to see all of them working together in groups and bringing their different ideas together to think of solutions for how they might be able to make our campus more sustainable. We received many comments about how people liked the collaborative nature of the event and how it gave them the opportunity to interact with new people from different backgrounds. Others also shared about how the workshop empowered them to start locally when tackling global sustainability challenges. So it was really great to hear some of these comments. But while we received many positive comments and praise, we always believe there's room for improvement. And we viewed this event also as a prototype and an experience that we could learn from when conducting future events and workshops. So one of the biggest lessons we learned through this event was the importance of starting small and being very clear with our message and aim, especially when we're at the phase of marketing the event. We struggled at first with finding a way to effectively communicate the event's value to a diverse audience. And we mentioned earlier how we wanted to target students, faculty, and staff. So basically all of the members on campus. But we realized if we focused on all of them at once, then it would be really difficult to actually market our event. So we tried to then identify who is our primary audience, and then to adapt our communication style to tailor it to that particular audience. So in our case, while we kept our event open to all members of the Sophia community, we focused first on targeting our message to students, and then reaching out to professors and staff members through more direct channels to appeal to their interests. So we thought that was a more effective way of going about when promoting our event. And we also learned how challenging it is to create a sustainable project and idea. It can be easy to take that first step and to get something started, but it's often challenging to keep the momentum going. And while we did our best with the resources and the time, I think energy we had at that time, we were quite a small team. So I think we tried to do our best, but we did sort of stretch ourselves out quite a bit. And we were so focused on, successfully completing that event that we didn't think as much about how we could sustain the project after the event in the long term. And so this also connects to this last point, which is thinking about, how we can use the opportunity of a large event like the one we did to leave, participants with a strong and clear calls to action. There are many people who actually came up to us after the event and who were interested in design thinking and wanted to participate in more workshops and events like that, SDGs X Innovation Sparker. But at the time, we weren't able to immediately provide them with clear information about how they could easily get involved in more UIF activities after the event. So for our team, we were kind of reflecting on how we can create an actual culture of I&D on campus, especially since the innovation and entrepreneurship culture is quite weak at our campus. We are more focused, they're more like humanities departments, so we're still trying to build that culture. And we realized the importance of having more of a long-term vision and thinking about how we can link projects and initiatives together in order to build on the momentum. That was really important in the context of our campus. So if you're interested in learning more about our event, we also created this a video. So I think Haruka, we'll play it right now.
We as students, even though we have a lot of the ideas, we don't have the space or the opportunity to sort of get it out in the open, and it's a great setting in which we can release our ideas, and students actually have a lot of good ideas, and maybe Sophia can be one of the first universities to actually allow the students to implement those big changes. I think it's especially sort of relevant to us within the context of sustainability and environmental issues.
This has been a pretty eye-opening experience in the fact that we thought of a lot of ideas just in that 5 minutes of brainstorming.
if you're interested in watching that video again, it's on YouTube, so you can scan our QR code. So based on this event, and as well as past design thinking workshops that we conducted, we designed a workshop toolkit called Innovation Sparker. And we wanted to create this toolkit as something that other people at our university, as well as beyond, could use to carry out their own workshops, or even use just as inspiration to guide them through their own process of applying design thinking to solving different problems or challenges. The activities in the workshop facilitation guide on this very left that we created can be combined into a full design thinking workshop, or it can be used separately based on your interests or needs. And we also, it's on our website, but you can access the workshop worksheets that we created, as well as the facilitation guide and the slides. And then we also include like the contextual landscape canvas template for those interested in also kind of using that method. So we created that as a way to sort of share what we have been building up until now with others. Our team learned so much through the SDGs X Innovation Sparker event. The event was part of our larger goal as a community to create more experiences where students in Japan can expose themselves to the design thinking mindset. And we really wanted to share the values that we learned through UIF, such as curiosity, collaboration, empathy, and flexibility, and also recognizing the problems we encounter not merely as obstacles, but more as opportunities for taking positive action. We also hope to continue creating safe spaces where people from different backgrounds can come together and collaborate on our campus, and also use their individual talents and skills to work towards building meaningful solutions, especially to today's really complex sustainability challenges. So as you can see in our t-shirts in this photo, maybe it's a little bit hard to read, but it says our motto at UIF Sophia, which is start where you are, use what you have, do what you can with who you can. And this is a mindset that we really try to embody in our projects. And yes, I'm trying to spread that. So thank you so much. And you can learn more about what we do at UIF Sophia on our website, as well as on our Instagram. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.